Wasn't that bad tonight. Wasn't bad tonight. Godfather Soldiers Fleming. Name my topic tonight. It's called Last Laugh in Las Vegas. Who ends into Mania tomorrow with all and everything to win or lose. So much as I said before I do something a little bit music, I'm up to show the hit single Bad Boys by Gloria Stefan in the Miami Sound Machine. Stick around, right back. Yep, Bad Boys by Gloria Stefan and Miami Sound Machine. get down with tonight's show. By the way, for those of you that you didn't hear my audio feed, when I mentioned all my wrestling history and birthdays, I mentioned because a little tech issue with my audio when I was doing the Raw AEW Dynamite review. I mentioned well, I forgot to mention about ECW Massacre ECW Massacre on Queens Boulevard, and that's what I mentioned because got mentioned that on Monday because that happened on April 13th, 1996, and it was his 30th anniversary on that day, and I mentioned a lot of things because about the from Wednesday April 15th. I mentioned I mentioned a couple birthdays, and I mentioned a couple of wrestling events. Mike Tenay birthday. I mentioned I mentioned Austin Aries Mike Tenay's turning 72 last Wednesday, and I mentioned Austin Aries turning 48, and I also mentioned about the Monday Night Wars. I mentioned WCW Prime. I mentioned WCW Prime. I mentioned Big Bubba Rogers, who knows Big Boss Man, defeating Mike Winter. I mentioned that. I mentioned Monday Night Raw, WWE Raw, with Savio Vega defeated with Wildman Mark Merrill defeating Leaf Cassidy, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Bart Gunn, Savio Vega defeated Goldust with Mania to win the Intercontinental title, but there were moments after the referee disputed the call. And WWE President Gorilla Monsoon vacated the title in order to compete in a rematch following week. And we'll see a little foot interview with Bret Hart and Jeremy talking about the Iron match in his future in pro wrestling. We'll see him back in an in-ring video with Vader, which announced that he was facing Razor Ramon at In Your House, Beware the Dog. And Nitro, WCW Nitro. I mentioned Nitro. I mentioned Civic Center in Charleston, Virginia, and it was Hulk Hogan with the Booty Babe, Kimberly defeating Arn Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, Jimmy Hart, Miss Elizabeth, and a woman. In 2-on-1 handicap match, the Nasty Boys Ryan Knobs and Jerry Saggs defeated Public Enemy Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock in a Falls Count Anywhere street fight match. Montreal and Randy Savage defeated Earl Robert Eaton with Jeeves. Sting and Lex Luger defeated Ric Flair and the Giant with Miss Elizabeth and Woman by DQ, retaining the WCW World Tag Team Championship. It was the night that Randy Savage was went out of line because of the deception of destroying Ric Flair. And let's see, a couple of moves released in theaters. Barbershop 2, Barbershop 3. Next Cut was released starring Ice Cube, Cedric Alexander, Regina Hall, Andrew Anderson, Eve, Sean Patrick Thomas, and all reprising their roles. And Nicki supporting cast includes Common and Nicki Minaj. The Jungle Book remake of the 1967 movie starring Bill Murray, Ben Kingsley, Iris Elba, Lupita Nyong'o, and Scarlett Johansson, and Giancarlo Esposito and Christopher Walken. Criminal starring Kevin Costner, Gary Oldman, and Tommy Lee Jones. Supporting cast in this movie includes Gal Gadot and Michael Pitt. And Green Room starring Elton Yelkin. The late Elton Yelkin. It was we've been a big movie star when he passed away. Sad he passed away. And on WWE Superstars, I don't know if it was on the 14th or the 15th. Ryback defeated Damon Sandow, Dolph Ziggler defeated Tyler Breeze. Okay, let's go back. Start show with it tonight. Yeah, Smackdown kicks off with a WrestleMania video package. Live in the arena, a red truck pulls up, and out comes Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. In comes Nick Aldis and hands them a contract track. Pat tells him he reads through his own contract. He is a self-made billionaire. Orton tells them to handle it, and he will go in the ring. Pat gives Nick the keys, and he signs the contracts. Randy Orton's music hits, and out he comes to the ring. Orton says he will be the first one to admit he doesn't need Pat McAfee. The truth is that he wants him. Orton says Pat is the only straight shooter in the company. He doesn't tell him he needs to. He wants to hear. He tells him he wants to be. He tells him he wants to what he needs to hear. And what he needed to hear was all along. He just had to be him. He said he says that they were all set. He's listening to Pat. Here comes WrestleMania. He wins the Chamber and he's facing Drew McIntyre for the title. He says there's no love lost with Drew. He knew what he needed to do to win the title, but then Cody won the title back. He says he and Cody are friends. He couldn't be who he needed to be. He couldn't hurt his friend. And then Cody gave him permission to be him. He asked Cody to give him the permission to be himself. He wrote the bit to being him, and he's the Viper. He says this is how a friendship works. There is give and take, but with Cody as a friend, or all Orton ever did was give Cody, and all Cody did was take. Tomorrow they main event night 1 at WrestleMania, but 2 years ago at WrestleMania, Cody was the main event of night 1. Soul's bloodline is all over Cody. As a friend, he is there to have his back, but all he got was going through a table. He says Cody gives a WWE Championship match to his friend at the time, Kevin Owens. Owens says Cody turns on Cody as his friend. He is there by Cody's side. He tries to talk some sense into Owens, but he got dropped on his head in the ring through a pile driver. He says that couldn't have been it. All Cody does is take. He says Pat has done more for his career and legacy than Cody has done in half a lifetime. He says Cody thinks that Pat hurt his legacy. He says hurting him these last few years have hurt his legacy more than anything else. He says that at WrestleMania, he will right the wrongs, take number 15 home where it belongs, and he will do it with the 3 most dangerous layers in all of sports entertainment. We know what that is. RKO. Orange's music hits and he heads to the back. We cut to the back also with Pat, and Pat is in his truck. He says, "Great work with Randy," and Randy gets in the truck. Pat says that's what a WWE superstar looks like, and tomorrow everything changes for the better, and he will put a good word with the higher ups with Nick. He says, "See you tomorrow, Marks. Life is about to get better," and he drives off. They go to commercial break. Street fight. MFTs versus the Y6. The bell rings are underway. The Y6 throw the MFTs to the ringside of the ring. Loomis and Gacy dives off to the outside of the ring. Rowan turns to the ropes, but Tonga Leo drags him out of the ring. Drags him to the ringside drags him to the outside of the ring. Tao Tonga with the right hand onto Rowan, and Tonga Leo grabs the steel steps. He hits Gacy with Loomis with the stairs. He throws the steps onto Rowan. We're going to go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Gacy with a clothesline to Tama Tonga, followed by a back suplex onto Jason Mateo. Loomis with a back suplex onto Solo. Gacy with a super kick onto Tama Tonga. Loomis and Gacy double team Tama Tonga. Gacy goes for cover, but Jason Mateo breaks it up. JC with a German onto Gacy and a back suplex onto Loomis. JC is an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Tama Tonga with Samoan drop onto Uncle Howdy. Tama Tonga with a Samoan drop onto Gacy. Rowan with a big boot to Tama Tonga, and he falls to the outside. Rowan with a suicide dive onto Tama Tonga. Rowan throws steel chairs and trash cans into the ring. Roulette Uncle Howdy, and Rowan hit the Solo with a trash can. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Solo goes for the running hip attack on Uncle Howdy, but he moves out of the way. In come the MFTs, but Uncle Howdy hits them with a steel chair. Nikki Cross gets on the top rope and lands on a crossbody onto Tonga Leo. Tama Tonga with a big boot onto Uncle Howdy. Solo goes for a solo splash onto Uncle Howdy. He goes for the cover, but Gacy breaks it up with a kendo stick. In comes Gacy, but Tonga hits him with a double choke slam. Rowan hits him with a chair from behind, but Tama Tonga lands on a double clothesline to the outside of the ring. Uncle Howdy goes for a Superstar Abigail, but Tama Tonga lands on a reverse neck breaker. Tama Tonga goes for a cutthroat, but Solo hits Uncle Howdy with a solo spike. He goes for cover and gets a pin. Winners the MFTs. Solo and Tama Tonga look at each other. Tama Tonga is not happy. cut back. We cut back to the break, and R-Truth was with Damian Priest. R-Truth tells Damian that Oscar cursed the New Day. Priest tells him it was Danhausen. R-Truth tells Danhausen that what Danhausen was last week. He says it was Oscar. He says Woods is sick, so sick that he turned on Sammy Sosa white. Priest tells him that was Grayson Waller. R-Truth tells him that Grayson Waller is from Australia. Priest tells him yes, but R-Truth says they are talking about Xavier Woods. And what does Waller have to do with this? He tells Priest he has to get together to have a good tag team title match tonight and walks away with. And Priest says what? We see a clip of Miz and Maurice renewing their vows, but Danhausen is behind Maurice. He says he is the ring boy, best man and maid of honor. Kit Wilson is officiating, and he says you may kiss the bride. Danhausen says you are cursed, and they begin to argue. Maurice ends up face first on the cake. Danhausen tries the cake, and vanilla says vanilla. During a commercial break, a Royce Keys video package airs. You see clips of Drew McIntyre attacking Jacob Fatu last week. A commercial break of Royce Keys video package airs. We see clips of Drew McIntyre attacking Jacob Fatu last week. The camera cuts to a police car with sirens on entering the arena. The car parks on stage and out steps Jacob Fatu. His music hits and he stands on top of the police car. Jacob Fatu says that Drew wants to tell the world that Fatu is a criminal. Fatu says they can talk about his life all they want. He's not ashamed of it. He's not afraid of it. And he does not live that life anymore. Fatu says Drew thought that putting him in cuffs in front of his family was going to embarrass him, but that didn't. Even the police knew that he wasn't that same guy anymore. Yeah, he says Drew said he says this is where Drew gets it twisted. He says tomorrow night unsanctioned match. That means no Nick Aldis, no police, no security, no management, no army, no navy, no nothing. The SWAT team can't even stop him from beating Drew's ass. He says the best thing about it is that there's no one to save Drew. He tells Drew that he tried to put him back in that jail cell where he changed his life, but the truth is he already put his rear in the view. And the truth is that when he is done beating his ass, that is exactly where he is putting Drew, in the back, in his rear view mirror. He says that at WrestleMania 42, you will see Jacob Fatu shake his dreads. He tells Drew to get a calculator and do the match, because at WrestleMania he will dog walk his bitch ass. Fatu's music hits. He cuts to the back to see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Bliss says it has been a year, big year. She became a tag team champion with someone who became her best friend. Flair says the cherry on top will be winning gold at WrestleMania. Flair says before that they have to win tonight and get momentum, and no matter what, they will still be best friends. Flair says she knows the goal is their friendship they made along the way. Flair says for real their friendship is great, but how would goal will be, and Bliss walks away. You know, I think that it was really a mistake to put them as tag team partners. Commercial break. WWE Tag Team match: R-Truth and Damian Priest, the champions, versus Kofi Kingston, Grayson Waller, and which is kind of crazy as them being the New Day without Xavier Woods and Big E Langston. Bell rings and run away. Waller and Priest start the match. Priest with a big boot, and he throws Waller into Waller in the corner. Priest with right hands, and Truth is tagged in. Waller with right hands, and Kofi is tagged in. They double team R-Truth, and R-Truth is thrown to the outside of the ring. Then go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Kofi is with right hands onto Truth. Waller is tagged in, and he climbs to the second rope, but Truth pushes Kofi onto him. Priest is tagged in. Priest with right hands onto both men. Priest with a clothesline to Waller. He goes for the cover, but Kofi breaks it up. In comes R-Truth. And he lands on shoulder tackles onto Kofi. Priest body slams Waller. Priest and R-Truth with the double 5 knuckle shuffle. Priest and R-Truth with 1D onto Waller. Priest goes for the cover and gets the pin. Winners are still tag team champions R-Truth and Damian Priest. We go to commercial break. Jade Cargill's music hits, and out she comes with a B-Fab and Mission. As Jade begins to speak, Rhea's music hits, and out she comes to the ring. She says she would like nothing more to hit Jade, but she would not want to give Jade an excuse not to walk into WrestleMania. She says she was not the most patient out of people, but she's lucky she isn't getting in the ring and whooping her ass. Rhea says Jay has not been able to allow her to get in the ring and see her face to face. She tells Jay she thinks Jade is scared, and she cannot wait to embarrass her at WrestleMania. Tells Rhea that the only one that should be embarrassed is Rhea. She says Rhea is the one that keeps her coming for Jay and falling. Rhea says she hasn't had one chance to come for her ever since she won at the Elimination Chamber. Jay has done nothing but hide. She hides behind social media. She has been doing anything she can not to stand face to face with her. If there's anything she wants to say to her, this is her last chance to say it to her alone. Jay tells B-Fab and Mission to leave the ring. Jay is scared. Jay says she is scared of some cold sway kid with insecurities. She is everything Rhea wishes she was, a real bitch. She says Rhea got her way, but that is because of the weak-ass locker room. She says she has been trying to spare Rhea, and since she didn't learn her lesson, on Sunday she's putting belt to ass, and if she keeps talking, she will make it quick. Rhea says she doesn't want to be like her. She has been fighting people and like Hades, hated her entire life. She says her insecurities do not hold her back. They made her the person she is today. The reason she is the multi-time champion. She tells Jay if she wants to make it quick to WrestleMania, she won't, but she can, but won't be in her favor. She calls Jay the narcissistic, fake-ass bitch. Jay raises her title in the air and tells Rhea that she will see her on Sunday. Jay leaves the ring and Rhea's music hits. We cut to the back and Solo is with the MFT. Solo says that the Wyatt family is over. They did it as a tag team. Tama Tonga says as a team. Solo tells Tama Tonga to go win it with the Andrade Giant Battle Royal and bring it to the trophy. Solo tells Tama Tonga that he will go talk to Nick Aldis to get the tag team titles back. Commercial break. Number one contenders for the Women's U.S. Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Jordynne Grace. Julie and Kiana James are ringside. The bell rings and we're underway. They shake hands Tiffany to the ropes and she lands on a modified stunner onto Grace. She goes for the cover but Grace kicks out. She runs towards Grace but Grace throws her into the corner. Grace with a clothesline, she lifts Tiffany up and shoulders her and throws her onto the top rope. Grace with a clothesline, she goes for the cover but Tiffany kicks out. Commercial break. Back from the break, Grace with a suplex deep off the top rope and she grabs Tiffany, but Tiffany with a spiked DDT. Tiffany with her right hands and Grace with her right hands. Tiffany with an elbow to the face followed by a drop kick. She goes for cover but Grace kicks out. Grace rolls onto the ring apron and Tiffany grabs her, but Grace with headbutts. Grace gets in the ring and she lands on a Death Valley driver. Grace with a folding powerbomb, she goes for cover but Tiffany kicks out. She grabs Tiffany but Tiffany with a stunner. Tiffany slams her and she looks at Julia. Tiffany with the prettiest moonsault ever, she goes for cover and gets the pin. Winner, Tiffany Stratton. Trick Williams is walking backstage. We're going to go to commercial break. Trick's music hits and out comes Trick Williams to the ring. Trick says he usually comes out all smiles, games, jokes, but not tonight. He has something to get off his chest, and we're going to talk about it. He says last week Zayn crossed the line to roll the footage. We see a clip of last week where Zayn hit Lil Yachty with a hell of a kick, but Trick won his match. He says last week Zayn hit Lil Yachty with a hell of a kick. Last week Zayn hits his friend with a hell of a kick. Last week Zayn hurt his friend with a hell of a kick. He doesn't know when Lil Yachty is coming back. If he is coming back tomorrow or Sunday. But Zayn did something worse than hurt his friend. He hurt Trick's entrance at WrestleMania with a hell of a kick. He says they are not waiting until Sunday. Grown folks are talking. They will take care of business now. He tells the gingerbread man to come out. Zayn's music hits, and out comes someone in a gingerbread man costume. Trick asks cut the music, and the gingerbread man gets in the ring. Trick introduces Zayn to the gingerbread man. Trick says he's supposed to be upset at Zayn, but in his face, looking at him, Zayn looks upset himself. He asks him what is wrong. Was there no diehard Sami Zayn fans last week in San Jose? Maybe there are some diehard Zayn fans tonight, and the fans boo. He says maybe all the diehard Zayn fans are pretty dirty lame. He says when life gives you lemons, you put lemon, pepper, steppers, and mind your business when grown folks are talking. He says on Sunday it's all about him. His first WrestleMania, it's a moment to get the title and do what it takes to get the title. And he's going to whoop something that the fans sing, whoop that Trick. Out comes Zayn saying that is funny and the fans boo. He says he is glad that Trick is having a lot of fun and he is talking to his first WrestleMania seriously. He wishes he was having as much as fun as he is, but he has not been having a good time in a very long time. He is walking into WrestleMania as the U.S. champion, and he's not having a very good time. And by the sounds of it, it looks like a lot of fans here have not been a whole lot of fun lately. Zayn says he doesn't know what he did wrong, but the truth is that he doesn't care because he is doing this. He does this every day for the ride or die Sami Zayn fans, the one who have been with him since day one. Zayn gets in the ring. He says, "No mistake. Make no mistake, there are plenty of ride or die fans and plenty in Las Vegas, and they'll be in his corner at WrestleMania." The fans chant, "Shut the fuck up." He says Trick showed up on Smackdown and interrupted him. Everyone was talking about Trick like he was the future of the industry. And he agreed, but he hasn't shown a whole lot. He has a great entrance and a catchphrase. He can drop pretty decent diss track, but Trick has not shown him anything when it counts. In the ring, when it matters. He says when he looks at Trick, he doesn't see the future of the business anymore. He's a little punk rookie. One who's about to walk on his first WrestleMania against one of the best to ever can do it. Instead of taking things seriously, he walks into the biggest match of his life without a plan. Trick tells him that he is the plan. He has been here for 4 months. He says Zayn now combs his hair. Zayn's breath smells like 10 pounds of bounce that ass. Wow. He says Zayn cannot find any Zayn anymore, but he is Zayn. One of the few most respected guys in the locker room with all the titles, but he threw that all away because this work he got in the game. He says Zayn, who doesn't have a plan, and to look at him when he's talking to him, because the truth is he's the one that's going to get the job done. Let's talk about it. Zayn says Trick thinks his big plan him standing in the ring 2 days before WrestleMania with a gingerbread man. Trick says he is standing in the ring with 2 gingerbread men. Zayn throws the title and hits Trick with a right hand. Trick with a right hand, but Zayn with a clothesline and Trick to the outside of the ring. Zayn turns around with and the gingerbread man in his corner. Zayn hits the gingerbread man with a hell of a kick, and he turns around and Trick hits him with a trick shot. Okay, it's 12 a.m. right now. 12:01 right now. This is Saturday, April 18th, 2026. It's midnight. Trick raises the U.S. title in the air, and Trick's music hits. We see Cody Rhodes get out of the tour bus. Commercial break. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie. As Bayley and Lyra are on the ropes during their entrance, Flair runs to the ropes and Lyra trips down. The bell runs and run away. Flair and Lyra start the match. Lyra with a spinning heel kick. Bliss throws Bayley into the ropes. In comes Nia and she hits Lyra with a clothesline. Lash Legend runs down and she hits Alexa with a right hand. Flair with a super kick onto Nia, but Lash with a running boot onto Flair. Nia Lash double team Bayley. Lyra right hands onto Lash, but Nia throws her across the ring. Lash with a right hand onto Lyra. Lash lifts Lyra up, and now with a leg drop off second rope. Winner's no contest. I really don't care about Nia Mahole Jackson or Ho Lash Legend. Winner's no contest. Honor Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Ding ding, the bell rings and we're underway. Gargano's laying down to start the match. Kit Wilson trips over Gargano and Kit falls over the top rope and is eliminated. Frazier is eliminated by Gargano. Sabin is eliminated by Axiom. El Grande Americano tries to unmatch the original, but they both get eliminated by Talatanga and Garza. Garza and Berto eliminate La Parca. Phoenix eliminates Berto. Royce Kids eliminates Psycho Clown. Gargano eliminates Axiom. Phoenix eliminates Alex Shelley. Shinsuke Nakamura eliminates Apollo Crews. Aleister Black eliminates Joe Hendry. Talatanga eliminates El Cruz del Toro and Rey Fenix. Aleister Black eliminates Nakamura, Ilya Dragunov, and Tozawa. Otis eliminates Garza, Gargano, and Matt Cardona. Royce Cleese, Aleister Black, Otis, and Talatanga are the final four. Royce Keys eliminates Aleister Black. Talatanga eliminates Otis. Talatanga goes for a chokeslam on Keys, but Keys lands on his feet. Keys with a spine buster and clotheslines Talatanga over the top rope. Winner, Royce Keys. Cody's music hits, and out comes Cody Rhodes to the ring. Cody asks the fans what they want to talk about. He says they will not talk about the last 3 WrestleManias and the conspiracy that someone's messing with him. The end conclusion of the final boss, Travis Scott, or someone who he is not going to name, but someone should go home this year. He says Orton was out talking about him taking. He says, interesting choice of words because Orton has never taken responsibility in his life. He says he was there in 2009, referring to Legacy. He saw when he burned everything in his path. He went to WrestleMania for a title and lost. And we know that was WrestleMania 25th anniversary. He lost to Triple H. Evolution, buddy. Turned nemesis. For a title loss, CM Punk's music hits and out he comes to ring. Cody asks they are friends. If they shake hands and hug, he will kick him in the balls and turn on him too. Punk says there are a lot of people that deserve to be kicked in the balls, but Cody's not one of them. He says he wants to give him advice, and they talk about how they are both wearing suits. Punk says this is the first time he's wearing a suit in a WWE ring since Teddy Long got married. He brings that up because they have a long history. And now he wants to take a moment and realize that they are standing in a ring as friends and champions. Headlining WrestleMania 42. They are past beyond CM Punk giving him advice. He says Cody has done and said things that he has yet to accomplish. If he was a teacher before, he isn't now. He says Cody has learned from one of the best, John Cena, his father. If Orton was one of his teachers, he isn't now. He tells Cody to get it done and have fun. Cody tells him there is one thing he wants to share with him. He knows who Punk is up against at WrestleMania. He's against a guy they create terms for. He is that good. Against the most dominating WrestleMania main eventer in history of their game. He says CM Punk was not born to be born into like this. Like he or Roman was. Punk came in and trained, and WWE wanted him so bad that he kept CM Punk, named CM Punk. After that, he went away for 10 years, but they still chanted his name. He says CM Punk could have come back and waved his hat around and do his greatest hits, but he didn't do that. He says Shawn Michaels came back after a 5-year injury, and now CM Punk is back and better than he ever been. There was a conversation going on. Macho King was Mr. WrestleMania. After that was Shawn Michaels. It looks like Punk is making the argument that the new Mr. WrestleMania, CM Punk. He says his dad would have been extremely proud of him. He tells Punk that he loves him. They hug and Cody's music hits. Punk says cut the music. He says he is not going to cry on a Friday night in the City of Lights. He will cry on Sunday after he beats Roman's ass. He says these titles are as much for the fans as they are theirs, and they are here to celebrate with the people. They'll leave the ring and WrestleMania video package airs. All I can say is this: yeah, Cody, do us all a favor and kick Randy Orton's butt tonight, so we can all be done with Pat McAfee's butt for good. He's a disgrace to pro wrestling. This wasn't bad. This was a really bad show last. This wasn't a bad show last night. This was not bad at all. Nope, really not that bad. Really not that bad. Nope. Nope. This wasn't a bad show. This wasn't bad. Okay, no, okay, now it's time for my predictions for WrestleMania, for tonight's WrestleMania, for the Smackdown brand. Let's see, let's see, Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu, unsanctioned match. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu. But I feel like Drew gonna get this. I bet you. Let's see. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton versus Pat McAfee. I'm gonna say I'll say Cody Rhodes, but I feel like Randy Orton's gonna get this. We're gonna have we have Pat McAfee running some out with Randy Orton, and we see Randy Orton become champion. I mean, it would be stupid for WWE to do that. It means 2000, and Randy Orton needs to retire too. It means 2026, not 2002. And Jade Cargill who's the reigning SmackDown champion versus Rhea Ripley for SmackDown Women's Championship. I say Rhea Ripley buries Jade Cargill. But I feel like there's gonna be interference. I feel like there's gonna be interference. I bet you that Bianca Belair, who hasn't been seen on WWE television, might interfere and screw Rhea Ripley and Jade to retain. It aligns with her, B-Fab, and Misha. Bianca Belair was seen might do that. See, hopefully that'll happen. Let's see. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Who wins? Who wins this match? I say Trick Williams. Trick Williams wins. Yep, those are my predictions for predictions for tonight, tonight and for and tomorrow. So that'll do for my do everything. And let's all pray for actress Christine Applegate, best known from the TV show Married Children, another movie she played in because she was hospitalized. A little health thing. She got a little Okay, I got covered now. Let's go to time for the rest of this and birthdays. Let's go to yesterday. Let's go to April the 6th, April 16th. Let's go to April 16th. One sec. Vicky Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero's wife, known for knowing excuse me, shout. She turns 58 last Wednesday. Georgianne Steele would have been 89. George Yam was still WWE Hall of Fame. He was 89. He died on February 16, 2017. Mishin, who was aligned with B Fab, Jade Cargill. She turned 37. Her name was Stephanie Bell. Hein Bell. Let's see. What? Let's see what else. WWE Primetime Wrestling. I mean WWE Tuesday Night Titans. April 16th. Vince McMahon, Laura Alfred Hayes, welcome to Manchester Don Morocco, Mr. Fuji, and Tito Santana, Master Jimmy Hart, and more to the show. Let's see. See what else. Let's go now to yesterday, April the 17th. Um, April 17, 2016, we lost one of the best professional female professionals of all time. Her name was Joan Laura, better known to WWE wrestling fans as China. WWE Hall of Famer Roddy Piper, he would have been 72 yesterday. Kevin Walcott, some of you know, is as Nails in WWE, and the Convict and the Prisoner in WCW. He turned 68. Dasha Gonzalez, better known by rename Dasha Fuentes. She turns 37. 38. Wait, hold on, wait. Yeah, 38. She turns 38 yesterday. And Joey Baroni, his real name was Lucas Joseph Garcia. He turns 40 yesterday. And let's see what else. Let's see. Monday Night Raw, April 17th, 2006. Leading up to the Backlash. We see Vince McMahon doing that long God mockery again until Shawn Michaels comes out here and kicks his ass. Kane defeated Rod Conway. Charlie Harris defeated Shelton Benjamin. Shawn Michaels defeated Umaga. And Marlon Heliandro destroyed by a DQ. Kenny, Spirit Squad, Kenny, Nikki, Mitch, Johnny, and Mikey defeated RVD in a handicap match. Worst match. Yeah, young Dolph Ziggler was in this group. Then we see a segment between Mickie James and Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus gives Mickie James a dose of her own medicine, playing more mind games doing mind games with Trish Stratus pretending to be Mickie James. Trish Stratus pretending to be Mickie James, and Mickie James pretending to be Trish. She opens up her box and it shows her it was Trish's boyfriend, storyline boyfriend, Jack, who she was trying to break up, drive wedge between her and Trish on Valentine's Day party. Yeah, that was really stupid for WWE, for Vince McMahon doing mockery for him doing no mockery of God. That was stupid. Yeah, it took place at Naval Center, and took place at the Naval Center and Savers Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah. The hometown of Randy Orton. I believe. Yeah. And that's it. That'll do for my review. Everything, my birth history and everything. The Godfather Soldier Slimming. It's late Che Henshaw. Always used to say, the Godfather Soldier Slimming that the beat just like Chubby Checker, dance like James Brown, like to get in a hot tub and sweat. And that Frank to everyone for doing impression of James Brown Saturday Night Live. I never grew up in the age group of 90s, so I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night Live when I was little. So I hope I have a good morning. So midnight's 12:23, and WrestleMania night 1 tonight, night 2 tomorrow, and I'll be doing my WrestleMania night 1, night 2 review tomorrow, Sunday. WrestleMania 17. Really good match. WrestleMania 17. The ninth wonder of the world, China, who died of a drug overdose. So I hope I have a good night. Anna versus Aprril from WrestleMania.
Was a situation, Paul, where two things we must mention here. Number one is that we know that China has signed a hold harmless contract, if you will, a release for this match.
Right. It's called a letter of indemnification, which means that if Ivory breaks China's neck tonight, China has no legal recourse. And that's not all, because the RTC is also banned from ringside.
RTC wanted the hold harmless clause signed. China wanted to make sure it was one-on-one. They both get their wish, and here we go.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the World Wrestling Federation Women's Championship. In the ring, representing the right to center, the Women's Champion.
A tremendous ovation here in the Reliant Astrodome for the 9th career.
Here we go, the 4th of 6 title matches tonight. China going for the Women's Championship against Ivory. And I don't think this is going to be two women rolling around.
Alex Ivory at the Royal Rumble when China's in January, when China re-injured herself and left for the WWF Women's title. The Lilith Sterling Green lookalike Ivory.
For Ivory, look at China. She has nothing but revenge eyes.
But again, China will take quite some time, and as a referee was just showing, and the elbow for China. That with the blows to the back of the head.
And
guess we could call that a China line.
And the match is...
Good grief. Look at this strength. Ivory upstairs with nowhere. Mania, man, Ivory has lost the WWF Women's Championship. China. Ivory needed some back.